did not lose it in the archives. So here you are in the purple robe, Mr. Perfect in tow, and you're working house shows on the way here in Auburn Hills, Denver. I mean, even after WrestleMania, you're continually working with Randy Savage. Did you guys have good chemistry together?
Yeah, I thought we did, but it was never the same without after Liz. This is all after Liz.
Right.
I just don't think. Um, I think we had average chemistry, but once again, I hate talking about. I'm not knocking Randy. I'm saying something that I think it happens in real life when you lose a partner that is so important to you and been so much to you personally. I don't think you recover from that. And by this time, Randy had amassed a fortune. I don't even know if he even cared. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Randy was very financially successful.
I think somewhere over this summer is where you were negotiating with Bill Watts about returning the big gold belt. What do you remember about your conversations with Bill about that championship?
Well, I explained to him the format which he understood, and that they hadn't paid me interest or even paid me back a $25,000 deposit. That's why I didn't give it to him.
Right.
It could have been resolved easy. I would have never left with it. But I knew once they had it that Herb would never pay me. Yeah, yeah. I mean, once again, did Herb show up for our potential debate? No.
Of course not.
He doesn't want anything to do with me when we're talking about what he's doing in my career.
See Savage here limping in. What do you think of the presentation of the old WWF ring, the red, white, and blue?
I liked it. I mean, hey, it's America.
Did you have a preference between ropes and cables?
I like ropes.
Okay. Why do you like ropes better?
Um, I just feel like they have more give.
Yeah.
Actually, um, I just like the WCW rings better because they were smaller.
I
These
see.
rings are 4 feet longer each way.
So you like a WCW ring, but the WWF ropes?
No, I'm saying I preferred the WCW ring, the
I got,
NWA size ring.
I got you. Around this same time, we would see Pat Patterson return to the WWF. Were you happy
Hmm.
to see Pat back on the roster?
Yeah, I've always liked Pat.
Not too long after SummerSlam, Bruce Pritchard came back as well. And I think that would have really been the first time you would have probably worked with him outside of maybe an appearance for the Bosch territory here or there, right?
Yeah, first time. Yeah, but Bruce and I have been friends for a long time. I mean, it's hard to believe how long Bruce and I have been friends.
Yeah.
I mean, we go back to the 80s. How old is Bruce now?
57, I think.
How old?
I think he's 57. Let me double check.
50s. He's just a kid. Yeah.
Oh, he's 59.
Okay.
Boy, time flies.
So he probably was 18 years old when he started with Paul Bosch.
Let's as we're watching a pretty good match here, we're doing a lot of psychology, of course, because Randy Savage is going to come out limping here, and it's a big part of the match. You're leg diving him, going after that leg, and even when he's just standing in the corner, he's selling it. And of course, we know what the finish is going to be. There's going to be a figure four involved, and that really works for telling a story. Um, what we're watching here is maybe one of the most infamous matches of your career because I think it's the only time anyone ever told you to go do it over, right?
Absolutely.
Meltzer would write this. After several squash matches had taken place, Flair and Savage were sent to the ring again and did a 25-minute match with Savage selling the injured knee a lot more and Mr. Perfect freely interfering. Razor Ramon came to ringside and gave Savage a hard kick to the knee before walking back to the dressing room. Flair put the figure four on and Savage held on for 2 minutes before the three count. After the match, Ramon attacked Savage's knee and the Ultimate Warrior had to help Savage to the back. So clearly we're trying to set up the whole Survivor Series thing. But the redo of the match, less than ideal. Is that the most frustrated you've been as far as a wrestling match?
Well, the number one, the crowd didn't give a damn. I mean, were getting no crowd response, and that happens sometimes when you go on a TV taping and you're later in a show.
Hmm.
But it just, I just think there's probably a little bit too much outside interference there. Does that make sense? Where you're,
Yes.
we've learned now that you go reach for a guy maybe one time during a match, and if you keep doing it over and over again, the referee doesn't catch it, then the people just go, "What the heck?" I mean, it's too much. Does that make sense?
It does. I think the original report about the first version of the match, which we're not looking at here.
See,
No,
like this be like the fourth time or fifth time that Kurt's there. As you learn as a manager that if you're involved so much, it takes away from the match.
yes.
And Kurt wasn't trained to be a manager by any means. He's a great worker, but with Heenan has stayed in one place.
Right.
Cornette stayed in one place, and if he was involved in something, he moved out of place once or twice. You can't, it's like two guys wrestling one, and like the referee is, just in a bad position. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. Meltzer would say of the first match, actually, the match where the title was supposed to change hands turned into an abortive contest in 12 minutes. And because Vince McMahon was unhappy with what was going on, he sent Bobby Heenan out, who signaled to referee Earl Hebner, and everyone went to the back dressing room. And the ring announcer, Howard Finkel, announced, quote, "The match will resume as soon as the referee regains control." So I'm curious, when you come to the back,
He didn't like
and
all the interference.
I got you.
You see what I'm saying? It's two against one.
Yeah.
He was furious about it. But Kurt was just doing what he thought was it's nothing Kurt did wrong. It's just one of those situations. I mean, at the end of the night, I just don't think that people cared, and I don't think Randy wanted to lose the belt.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Do you think they didn't care because you weren't a WWF traditionalist? They didn't have a reason to hate you. You weren't this big hulking monster that they were used to seeing in the heel
No,
position.
no. I just don't think he who wants to lose the title belt. You lose. I mean,
No, I mean in terms of the fans. Why don't you think it was connecting with the fans?
I don't know. I mean, if I'm a fan and I'm watching this, there's so much outside interference. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I mean, if you look at the mechanics of the match, it's not that bad, but nobody was budging. Kurt's
You
the
know,
only one cheering.
so is this obviously this is the more disappointing of the two. You had two WWF title runs. Nothing can compare with the Royal Rumble 92, but is there another world title win that you remember disappointing you as much as this one? Because this should have been a big damn day.
um, well, it was still a big day, but it just if you're a guy like me, you want the match to be perfect, and they're not
Right.
all going to be perfect. No pun intended with Kurt there. You always want it to be, at least technically as good as possible. And we're miscuing punches and kicks, and when I'm hitting a guy, they know I'm hitting them, and I don't think I'm not. But it's like it takes two to tango.
Right. It's about a month after this. This airs on September 14th, but it happened on September 1st, 1992. And
Hmm.
October 12th is when you would drop the belt to Bret Hart. So you didn't have it
Yes,
very long. And I'm wondering, do you think the bloom was off the rose for you with the WWF after this night? Or maybe was it off the rose for Vince with Ric Flair? Because he
I don't
came to
know
you
the
a
answer
month
to that.
later and said, "Hey, I'm going a different direction," right?
Yeah. Well, I think it was at a point. Remember, Hogan was gone now. I mean, they had a hell of a run, but Hulk's not there anymore.
Right.
Piper's not there anymore. You know what I mean? You start losing some players, and it's like you hear about it in the NFL and you hear about it in Major League Baseball. The things they call the rebuilding time, like the Lakers are rebuilding around LeBron. You know what I mean? And he had to figure out a way to start rebuilding it because we all had. I mean, I had more mileage on me than anybody, but Randy had been there a long time and had a hell of a run.
What do you remember Randy's reaction being to Vince McMahon telling him to go do it over again?
I don't think he was very happy with it.
Yeah.
It didn't cause any problem between me and Randy.
Right.
We were trying our hardest. But once again, I'm telling you guys, unless you experienced it, now if Elizabeth were with him right now, it would have been an entirely different match and with the crowd going. And if you don't believe me, when they talk about the match with Steamboat and Randy, which was considered a classic and all that,
Yes.
but if you look at the components between Elizabeth and George Animal Steel, there's 5 people in that match.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And you if you take George Steele, Elizabeth out of it, all the match is false finishes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Which isn't bad, but this is just we're just out there struggling, trying to get around, and our chemistry that wasn't good. Our work probably was considered average in this, and that's why he elected to start it over again.
On the way to this show, there was a SummerSlam preview show. And while you might not have had a match at SummerSlam, you did on the preview show. You wrestled Tito Santana in a 15-minute match that the Wrestling Observer absolutely loved. There was a lot of debate once upon a time about Tito and what could have been. And there were even interviews where, people would say, it came down to Brett and Tito. What do you think of Tito as an in-ring performer? And could he have had a run at the top of the cards?
Oh, I thought he was great. I love Tito Santana. He's a really good athlete too, outside of wrestling. Yeah, Tito and I had good chemistry. I like working with him.
There was another match.
And he's really a nice guy.
I think he's last I heard he was a school teacher in the Northeast. So
he sure is.
Talk to me about the first ladder match.
You can see we're putting the work in the match here.
Oh, big time. A suplex on the floor. Come on, man.
No, but I had to deal with I helped Randy. He pressed me a little bit. I mean, but if you look at the crowd, they're just not budging.
Right. Sometimes they say, some days the fish aren't biting, meaning, you can go out there and do everything right and you're just not going to catch a fish. And it's not because you did anything wrong. They just weren't biting that day. Is that one of those crowds right here? The fish aren't biting?
I absolutely would say so.
Yeah.
That'd be just a minor.
I mean, look there, a backdrop on the floor and
yeah.
Okay, that kid's clapping. It's a little odd to see a crowd on their hands like this.
I know, certainly because they weren't trying.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Let me ask you about the ladder match. The first ever WWF ladder match happened around this era. Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. Do you remember hearing about that at the time? What did you think of that concept?
I didn't know what to think of it, but ultimately, I think it's considered a classic. I said it before, but I said it more or less with a joke. But Shawn Michaels, I just said, and everybody took it wrong. I said Shawn Michaels having a match with a ladder.
Yeah.
Would Shawn Michaels could have a match, where people say Flair can wrestle with a broom.
Right.
So could Shawn Michaels. Because Razor and I, neither one of us, like when I wrestled Edge in the ladder matches, what could I do? I don't do that kind of stuff. Razor certainly didn't. You know what I mean?
Right.
How about that? A drop kick in the back. Holy cow. Is that possible? Is that a drop kick or a knee?
That looked like a drop kick to me.
Man, what an athlete I was. Who would stop this? See, now it's 3 against 1.
Yes.
Well, this is the final one.
Yeah, this is the second match.
This is the second match.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I was going to thank God you didn't play the first one. I thought this looked better.
No, the first one never aired anywhere.
Oh, thank God. Yeah, this is not a bad match at all now. But still, the whole thing was about the interference issue. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He wanted Randy to really be selling the leg, and I don't think he thought Randy was selling it enough. I certainly didn't think he was.
Well, this is a big opportunity for Razor Ramon. He's going to get to brush up against the main event here. And now the figure four is on. You see a few people get to their feet, and he's going to fight this for like 2 minutes. And ultimately, this is going to be the finish. When you come back through the curtain the second time here, Rick, is Vince happy then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. I don't remember. I certainly would remember him not being. He had no problem. And by the way, wasn't I invited? Why wasn't I invited to his birthday party? What in the hell? I don't think he thinks I can be. What do you call what the word I used with him? I'll be discreet.
Oh, there you go.
What's it?
Discreet. You can't be discreet. He's right.
I should have been at that party though. Damn it! Come on.
I agree. You should have been.
I'm his biggest fan. even though he doesn't like seeing John to be around me.
Oh yeah, everybody has a good time with you, dude. Come on.
No, sometimes too good a time.
Sometimes too good. I've been in trouble for that. I'll be in trouble for that this weekend, I'm sure.
No, you won't, because she'll be right there.
Yeah.
I'm going to come in a day early just to hang out with you Friday. What time? I got bad news for you. What time you landing Thursday?
We're doing the bus thing again. We got a driver, so we'll get there in the evening, late evening.
You're taking the bus again?
Yeah.
What about the airplane you just bought?
Well, this is easy to transport this amount of people and this amount of stuff.
What are you bringing with you?
Our friend of the show, Cassio Kid, stupid ass Dave Silva, my lovely wife.
Big Dave's coming too?
Cassio Kid. Yeah, I mentioned Cassio. Oh, Clint Beckley, who you referenced earlier. And
of course Clint's there.
And Rod Wagner. He's my dude. He's our driver. My good buddies.
Will there be any liquor on the bus?
Maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit. Josh wants to know. I've been wondering.
Yeah, we're going in early. We're going in Thursday.
I think we're getting close to the finish here.
See, you know what I would have done here? The only thing I would have changed is at the end with both Razor and is Razor still out there, right?
Track the audio here, Steve. This is the finish.
No way you doing? No. Randy Savage. He's blacked out. I think he's unconscious. Savage is unconscious. We did it.
Well, that was the slowest damn count I've ever seen in my life. That was ridiculous. I had
We can kill it now. I just wanted people to hear Bobby Heenan freaking out. It was one of the best parts of your first WWF title win. One of the best parts of your second WWF title win. Pretty cool moment, man.
That match actually wasn't too bad.
No, it was a good match. It was weird that the fans were on their hands for it, but yeah, it was a good match.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's a great question. I've been wondering this for years, Rick. Why did you only have one singles match on pay-per-view in your first WWE run? There were 6 pay-per-views, 1 singles match with Macho Man at Mania, and also the 2 Saturday night's main event matches were both tag matches. Thanks as always. That's a great question. I don't know that I ever put that together either. 1 singles match on pay-per-view, and it was WrestleMania.
You know, I don't know the answer to that either.
Maybe he's thinking, hey, we're not going to have Rick Law.
Maybe I wasn't drawing money like you thought I would.
Oh, shut up.
No, you never know.
That's true, I guess.
You got to remember out there a bit. Randy and I were probably the 2, and Piper were all just regular sized guys. I mean,